Tonight, we uncover the nightmares faced by Britain's bouncers.
The new generation coming through have no fear.
Let's see how fast he's all running half an hour, you know, pricks.
Doormen, old and new, reveal what it takes to police the door.
You can judge within a 10 or 15 seconds as they're walking towards them. This guy's coming in. This guy's not.
There's a front door war of words.
Right. You don't believe I've had my head smashed against every fucking wall?
If 8 doormen had done him over in a fire exit, I don't think he'd have a little scratch in his head, really.
And we meet the oldest swinger in town. Tonight on Bouncers. It's Saturday night in Warrington and Mr. Smith's is preparing itself for another night of excess. Whilst over in Blackpool, Club Sanook is opening its doors to the hordes of weekend warriors. In the past, bouncers of the old school spoke with their fists, but now stricter laws mean violence is out.
Instead of mouthing off, move away.
So when it all kicks off, what's best, fighting or talking?
A pair of pricks. £7, folks. Let's have your money ready.
At Club Sanook in Blackpool, they're already pulling them in.
I love you, man!
This is Joker, Kev Milne. He's a doorman at Club Sanook, he's 42 and he's been on the doors for 15 years.
There's the talkers and there's the ones that want to be the big macho doorman type, you know, but I've always found it easier to talk to people.
It's early doors and Kev is knocking back his annoying namesake.
My name's Kev.
Hey,
what's your name?
Kev.
My name's Kev.
Oh, Kev. Right,
No,
Kev.
it's not. What is that about?
All right, then it isn't.
Yeah.
It's Bob.
What's his name?
Oh.
What's his name?
Kev.
Ah, you fucking joking at me, shouting.
I got you though, didn't I? Called him Kev. Oldest trick in the book.
Kev is having no luck trying to charm his way in tonight.
To be fair, you're acting like a bit of a clown now, aren't you? Why don't you go back into town?
I've not done fuck all.
No, well, don't hang around here, mate. Let's go and get a drink somewhere else, all right?
He was just going on, wanting to come in, sorted off after about 10 or 15 minutes, come back with his sailor's hat on, and which was a good disguise, really.
Where you going, buddy?
I know you put a hat on, but it's hardly the best disguise.
Right, fool me for a minute.
I would fool with you, yeah.
Oh, it's Kev.
Never would have noticed you until you took that hat off.
I'm 20 years old.
This is Dave Burnett. A door supervisor, 24, been on the doors 6 years.
I think the best doormen in the world are definitely talkers that can talk people out. You know, they might be the softest guys in the world, but they can talk people out of a situation, and that's the key.
Okay, if you go through on the left, please, guys, okay?
But sometimes words just aren't enough. And when a guy's army ID isn't accepted, it's a test for Dave's new school ways.
He's in the army!
He's 23 as well. Right, mate, these fuckers don't accept what I'm fucking doing.
I'll be going to there.
Fucking prick.
I'll tell you what.
Follow me?
That's not fine, you know.
Step off the door, please, fella. Step off the door. Don't step off the door. You're getting it.
Get back.
Put your hand up. Put your hands down.
But you saw straight away the aggressive approach they gave us, which proves we've done our job right, because once those guys get in there, they're not going to suddenly be nice guys in there, are they?
Take them away before the police come and take them away. Your choice.
Let's go. Next.
Okay, no problem.
I'm in a fucking parachute regiment, right? I'm fucking 19 years of age and they're fucking me off.
You can see he wasn't happy with us. But, yeah, like I say, it's part of the job, isn't it?
I served for this fucking country and you fuck me off. Fuck off!
The bouncers of old lived for this kind of kick-off, and frankly, they think the new guys are just not up to the job.
You could be 18 years old, have never had a fight in your life, never had a confrontation, know nothing about door work, do a course and you're a doorman.
They stood there, I'm a bouncer. We couldn't bounce a ball, most of them.
He can do all the moves, he can have all the training, but he wouldn't do with some of the situations we're faced with.
The top of the shape, that's his biggest piece.
In Warrington, a silver fox is dusting off his party clobber.
Looking good.
A few lines at bingo's not enough for the oldest swinger in town. This is 78-year-old Stan Smith. A living legend. Every weekend, Stan the man's out hitting the pubs and clubs. He's been around the block a few times as Stan, but there's life in the old dog yet. He's got an eye for the ladies, even for the older woman.
You're getting your pictures. She's 88, I'm only 78, and she's doing very well, don't tell you.
I'm 88 and still going strong.
You're looking beautiful anyway, darling. You're looking beautiful.
I wasn't bad looking about 40 years ago.
Well, I can't take it over because I've got a headache.
Yeah.
But I've got to go, man. Let's go, man, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 o'clock rock. 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock rock. I'm going to rock around the clock tonight, man.
As Stan heads off to Mr. Smith's, bouncers from the old days knew that what counted most was being a good scrapper.
The old school were just guys that could have a good fight, would go on the door and nobody would fuck with them.
I would never ever take any back chat or shit off anybody.
9 times out of 10 they were all ugly bleeders like me.
Today's bouncers have had to clean up their act, and they're all vetted by the government to weed out the thugs. Firm but fair is the new creed.
Ladies, you haven't got anything. Listen, no, you haven't got anything. You haven't got anything. You haven't got anything.
This is elder statesman Keith Shaw. He's head doorman at Mr. Smith's. He's 38 years old, and he's stood on the doors for 21 years.
People go out and they do drink too much, a lot of them, and they'll come in the club and they're staggering everywhere.
It's 11 p.m. The pubs have kicked out and the folk arriving at Smith's are all in high spirits.
Smith's is the best! Woo! Come to Smith's! Best!
Maybe it's age, maybe I'm getting old, but I think the crackers.
Alright lads! Fucking brilliantly, yeah! Have it! You gotta have it! Have it!
And Tracy here is a prime example.
Girls these days seem to go out to get drunk, to go over the top. Women are not far behind men. I think they're catching men up very, very quickly.
Come follow me! Follow me! Just talking to them.
Oh dear, never mind, love.
Yes, darling. Here we go, right. Apparently she's got no knickers on. What are these? You liar. You've got knickers on. You've got Bridget Jones knickers. Look at them. You should have a lacy thong on. You should have a lacy thong like Kev.
Oh, this is my baby laughing.
Hey, he's the police. Steady.
Back in Blackpool, Dave and Kev are called inside to deal with Kev the Pest, who sneaked in through the side door.
Time to leave, mate, OK? We've told you once already, mate. You're not coming in, OK?
Everyone loves a trier, but it's game over for this persistent young pup.
Getting a bit aggressive.
I might be a little bit drunk, but I tried to get in, yeah? And just because I started fighting last week, yeah? They wouldn't let me in.
Kev tries his luck at the side door again.
No, you can't get through here, young man. The ship's left.
What ship?
Well, you're the captain, mate. You missed the ball. Sorry. See you later.
Crash and burn.
See ya. We're just wondering how you'd have sort of dealt with that sort of situation in the 70s, you know, when you had started the door and that.
Probably give him a clip round the ear and say, don't ever come back in it. And don't make us look a twat again.
But would you have slipped your number in his pocket like you did then as well?
Yeah. I told him to come round with his sailor's hat on, and just that.
Have it back now.
Will
you wear it for me?
Just walk naturally, please.
Well, let's go to Smith's, man. Over there.
Back in Warrington, it's approaching midnight and Stan has Smith's in his sights.
The manager and the doorman are great because they look after the place and they look after Stan the man.
Warrington!
He's a character, isn't he? All the girls are all over him, the lads are all over him, and he's like a cult figure, I suppose, if you like.
Hello, Stan.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I've got the idea. Yeah, I'm over something.
Just a bit.
Monday night to the club, Tuesday night to the club, Wednesday night, what a headache, but I went to the club, Thursday night to the club, Friday night didn't want to go, then my friend Michelle called me on the phone and so I went to the club.
Outside, time's getting on and Tracy is still trying her charm offensive.
Smith's this way. I'm not saying it's this way, but...
Go away, look. Go away.
Coming up, there's an old-fashioned ruck at Smith's. Dave's new school ways are put to the test. And Tracy tries to make herself useful.
I can't get no sleep.
It's gone midnight at Mr. Smith's in Warrington and the place is jumping. And legendary old raver Stan the Man shows no signs of flagging.
Easy, okay.
Outside Smith's, manager Les is still having to deal with Tracy, who won't take no for an answer.
I'm just saying I'll fight with everyone.
I'm just saying you can't intimidate people.
It's not like you're gonna fight with everyone.
But they're not keeping all the drunks outside. Here's one that slipped through the net. And just when he thinks it couldn't get any worse...
Yeah, I think love, you had a good time.
Yeah.
It's like, get it all up, get it all up, get it all up, no, get it all up, get it all up.
Sit down.
Get it all up.
No.
Get it all up. No, don't rub me. Don't rub me.
Look at me. I'm super.
Tracy's a real Florence Nightingale. For those lucky enough to make it inside, though, the party is in full swing. Suddenly, the atmosphere sours and the dance floor erupts into violence.
Dance floor. Carlo, look there.
The old-fashioned doorman would have loved a scrap like this, but Keith doesn't believe in meeting violence with violence.
I don't think there's a need for people to go over the top. You need to use minimal force to do what you have to do. And once they're no longer a threat, then that's enough.
Outside, the argument has spilled out onto the street. It looks like we could be in for round two, so Keith calls for the cops.
Just behind the phone box, we've got a group of lads and girls. They're all fighting. And there's the police there now. Police have just got out.
But as the police arrive, Keith's in for a surprise. He discovers it's his doormen that are under investigation.
Yeah.
What TV is that
Is there any chance we can get a list of your door staff off you?
It's a situation that would not have gone down well with the old guard.
Club door register.
25, 30 years ago, you had a fight with someone. If it come to that, there'd be no such thing as them going to the police and this doorman's hit me and then this and that.
You weren't afraid to go out the back and have a fight with someone Whereas now, everywhere's cameraed up, you can't, it's hard work.
Now, if you push a customer, or just look at them wrong, you know, it's common assault. People are so much more switched onto the law and what they can do and what they can get away with. It's the mad side of political correctness.
It's 1 a.m. and over at Sanook, Dave is dealing with the usual monkey business.
I feel like one of these tenders. Can I be Grant Mitchell?
Come in the side door. Yeah, no problem, I'll look out for him.
But there's trouble on the horizon.
The guy's just been put out down there.
Another test for Dave's non-violent methods.
Body language is the key now to sort of diffusing situations.
Calm down. Okay?
Why is this blood? Why is this blood?
I believe you've been fighting inside with another individual, okay?
You believe I've been fighting
this is what I've been told, okay?
You believe I've been fighting inside?
This is what I've been told, all right?
You don't believe I've had my head smashed against every fucking wall on the way out?
I'll tell you what, let's calm down first. I'll talk to you when you calm down first, okay?
It's pulled the textbook answer of the doorman did me over in the fire exit, which we know it doesn't go on.
Well, what was going on was I was dragged down the stairs, smashed on the way down the stairs. You dragged down the nice dark corridor, you smashed fuck out of, you kicked, you're beaten, you smashed in the face, you kicked in the head, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
The guy had a little scratch on the top of his head. If 8 doormen had done him over in a fire exit, I don't think he'd have a little scratch in his head, really.
It seems some are still to be convinced of the new breed's softly approach.
It weren't a gentle escort, you know what doormen are supposed to be. It weren't at all. They kicked fuck out of me down the stairs. It was ruthless. It was just ruthless.
New licences are all well and good, but one thing the old guard value above all else is experience.
The best doormen are the guys who are not doing a job for their own egos, yeah? They're doing it because they feel they've got the qualities to do that job.
No matter what the doorman's training does, it doesn't teach you how to do the job. It teaches you the aspects of what might happen on the job. It's only experience what counts.
You must have a doorman who stood on the door, who knows the ropes, and he can judge within a 10 or 15 seconds as they're walking towards them. This guy's coming in. This guy's not.
The way you make me feel.
Back at Smith's, Keith is having to rely on his experience to deal with a punter furious at being thrown out.
What the fuck's that? Get the fuck off. Get the camera away.
Nice, but respect these days is hard to find.
When I first started the doors, there was certain doormen in Liverpool, very, very well known, and you would not cross them. The mere name of them, you would not cross them.
Big bouncers, aren't you? Big bouncers. Big bouncers.
The new generation coming through have no fear.
Let's see how fast you run. Let's see how fast you all run in half an hour, you know, pricks. Fucking divvies.
That'll be the famous Scouse wit then.
If we throw people out, the number of people who will goad us into trying to hit them and assault them, they all know what they're doing.
Big bad men, are you? Are you? Big hard knocks. Yeah, we're bouncers. Yeah, big hard bastards, are you? Why? I'll show you why. Just tell us yeah or no. We'll just fucking show us. Honestly? Yeah. Why? Why? Have you got a bulletproof on? Who? You. I can do anything I want.
Threats like this are par for the course as far as Keith is concerned.
He just said something about us wearing bulletproof vests. So he just ignored it. Just ignore it. Heard it all before.
Back inside and Smith's is still partying hard. But it's getting on, and Stan decides it's nearly time to head home for a nice cup of cocoa. Over in Blackpool, it's turfing out time at Sanook, and as usual, the holidaymakers are doing their bit for the local tourist board.
You are an emotional wreck. You don't know who you are. You never see what you mean.
I'll tell you what, 10 quid a lot, all in.
Because I've just lost my bag. You don't need to worry about it. The bouncers, she's rich.
So, whilst times may change, the one thing that stays the same is the punters. And they're still as bonkers as ever. Leaving the madness outside, Dave shuts up shop for another night. The last dance has finished at Mr. Smith's, and it's time to head out into the night. A night on the lash has taken its toll on some revellers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, sir, nice to see you.
And into this madness steps Stan, with just enough time to show his appreciation for Dorman Keith.
The doormen of years ago were different. The doormen of today are intelligent. They're not bullies. They know the score. And I wouldn't like to look after these 800 kids out here. No way. But these guys do a good job. And any problems, they're there, man. They grab them. Ouch, man, no problem. No problem whatsoever.
Thanks, Stan.
No.
See you later, Stan.
See you now, sir. Bye now. Bye, bye, bye.
I'll fucking knock some fucker out, yeah? Come on then, yeah? Yeah?
Next time on Bouncers, Blackpool, an outrageous party town for hens and stags. But tempers flare when a stag is knocked back.
Plastic fucking action, man.